I thought for the first time, really all season long, I thought our team put together as complete of a game as we've played all year. I told Ed after the game, I don't think Providence played their best. I really don't. But, I thought our guys, we've had the tendency, I've used the analogy of taking foot off the gas pedal. And, it's just it's been frustrating at times, and we certainly haven't arrived. But I thought tonight, for maybe one of the very first times when I talked about that in one of the huddles, I thought there was a difference in the way our team played on the defensive end, kept sharing the ball on the offensive end, and we didn't just sort of end the game and sort of, I don't want to say sputter out. We didn't just sort of end the game where it was 22-22 down the stretch and trade baskets. I thought our team kept competing, and that was a really good sign. Hopefully our team continues to mature and get better, and those moments, I think our players, I overheard Trayvon saying when we get big leads, and it's not just big leads, it's just losing concentration when you come out of a timeout, when you first come out of the half, when, maybe you've scored back-to-back baskets and then you just give up one. And us having the ability to win that next play, that mentality has to keep growing with this team. And I thought it took a big step tonight.
Can you talk about how you were able to keep Rodney Bullock to such a low scoring night? And was that Kaiser primarily?
Well, I think it was Kaiser, a combination of Kaiser and Trey. I think they did a really good job of limiting his catches. I think contesting his shots, and then he's a really good player that didn't play very well. I think when you combine all those things, you're going to have a less than stellar night, and I'm sure that's going to be one of very few nights he has like that.
I know you've seen Edmond and Trayvon play plenty. You've seen him in practice. You've seen him for a couple of years. But are there ever moments in games where just in the flow of a game where you sit back and think, these guys are pretty good?
No. I mean, my job is to coach them, not be in all of them, and for me to develop them to their full potential, I can't be a fan, so to speak. I know they're really good. They're really high character kids. They care about winning first and foremost. They love the game, and each one of them have gotten better and better over their time here. But I don't sit back and say like, wow, he's really good. I think each of them have special skills that. If I were a player, I'd love to have Edmond's burst. If I were a player, I'd love to have Trayvon's ability to pull up. But, my job is to try to get them better in other areas so they become more complete players.
With Ed, a few turnovers in there, 5 turnovers.
Mm-hmm.
Like the last game, a complete line.
Yeah.
He's got the assists, he's got the points. Same on the defensive end. What were your thoughts, too, as far as his complete game?
Yeah, I thought Ed was sort of a tale of two halves. I thought he played, fairly poor in the first half, especially offensively. He played locked in on the defensive end for 40 minutes. He was so much better in the second half. And, I'm sure everybody wants to make a great first impression, league play. We know what the stakes are. He just didn't play well. Again, he's battling that finger thing, and I think not to make an excuse for him because he's got to play through it, but he just hasn't been as tight with the basketball, and I think he was a lot more diligent in the second half with the ball, making better decisions, being stronger with it. But I think the sign of a really mature player is a guy that can put a bad half in his pocket, forget about it, turn the page, and have a really good second half, and that was great to see out of Edmond.
Cartwright was another guy that was kind of circled on the scouting report, but you guys held him in check. Did you think the length that you guys have bothered him, or what do you think really happened?
Maybe. I thought early on that Providence got a few transition baskets, and we really talked about it going in, and maybe I didn't do a good enough job because we really talked a lot about corralling him because he's so fast from end line to end line. But he also has a very unique ability to sort of thread the needle. He understands when his defender is going to come up and pick up the ball in transition, but the retreating defenders aren't quite even with their man, and he has the ability to sort of do what a quarterback does, and that's throw it to where the receiver's going. And so we got caught with our pants down a few times in the first half, and I thought we got better in the second half. But, he's a playmaker, and if you can keep him out of the lane, it limits his effectiveness, but that's easier said than done. We did it tonight, but it won't make it any easier the next time.
Chris, when one of your best players, like Trayvon, is willing to buy in on both ends like he did tonight, what does that say about the culture of your program?
I think, think we have a pretty good culture, but I also think we have pretty good kids. You know, you come to Xavier because you want to win. You want to be a part of a program that's used to winning. And to get outside of that, you know, really would be different than what we're used to. And fortunately, Trayvon came here with the understanding that he wanted to play at a program that plays in the NCAA tournament, competes to win. And but it does say a lot about his personal growth, because he wasn't a great defender early in his career, and he's had some really good nights against some all-conference type players. Bullock for one, you know, Blossingame another. You know, so he's becoming a more complete player. It's great to see.
Is Tyreek okay?
I think so. I think he banged knees, you know, which doesn't concern you as much as if you get hurt when no one's around, which I've done before.
The ball movement was really good tonight. Did you see any difference in the approach or mindset of your wings?
Well, I know this. It's 2 games in a row we've had over 20 assists, and you know, no disrespect to Eastern Washington, but Providence is a lot better. It was great to see. I thought our second half ball movement was even better than the first, and we got to be that way. You know, the ball finds the guys that can score it. We just got to make sure that it takes a couple passes to do that. But I thought the ball movement was excellent, to answer your question, Rick.